How's it going, Yamaha Viper riders and Arctic riders? This video is going to be on installing the fourth wheel kit on my Yamaha Viper. I bought this kit from the Yamaha dealer. It was about $100, and what it really helps with is your back axle on the snowmobile, where your back idler wheels are in the back. If you ever blow out one of these bearings when you're out on the trail, you're basically gonna be euchred, because the track tension's gonna be way off, and you basically can't ride the sled with it like that. So I've already removed these idler wheels and did my bearing grease trick there. I'll show you how to do that right now. Okay, so I got these back axle wheels out, and I already did my grease repacking trick in this one, and I'm going to show you how to do it in this one. I've got another video on doing that too. I don't know why, but these bearings just don't come with enough grease in them. So if you want to make them last longer, you gotta pack a little more grease into them. So yeah, this was assembled together with these nuts and bolts, and what I used on that was just my 8 and 10 millimeter T-handles here. That worked real good to separate these wheels. And then the next thing, once you get them separated, next thing you're going to need is a pair of snap ring pliers, and you just, pretty simple to use, just put them in there and squeeze them together and take the snap ring out just like that. And then you flip it over, find a socket that'll fit in there, and just knock that bearing out just like this. And once you got it out, you just want to clean it up with a rag with some WD-40 on it. Just knock off all the debris near the seal and the bearing surface. And just kind of wipe it up with a rag there, just like that. And then you just need one of these little hobby screwdrivers, a little flathead, and just carefully pry the seal up, and just like that you can expose, and then you can see this bearing's got about 4,000 kilometers on it. It still feels good, but it's pretty in need of grease. So my theory is, if you keep this packed with grease, you're not even going to need to replace them nearly as often. So what I'm using is, I've got my grease gun filled with 100% synthetic grease. So it's a lot better for cold weather temperature. And then you just gotta work it into the bearing just like that. It's not hard. You just want to get more grease in there, and just keep working it in. Obviously you don't want to overpack it, but they can definitely take a lot more grease than what they had at the factory. And like I said, it's just my theory that it'll prolong the life of the bearing. Obviously it will. And just pack it in, and turn the bearing around on your finger, and push some more grease in there. So it wasn't a whole lot. I added in there. Any excess will squeeze out when you put the seal in. So that's probably good, just like that. And just clean up this seal before I push it back on. It's kind of messy. You might want to use rubber gloves when you're doing this. I didn't have any handy, so. And then just push this seal back on. Now I'm going to go and do this to all the idler wheels on my snowmobile. Just because it's got 4,000 kilometers, all the bearings are original. And I'm just going to see if I ever actually do need to replace a bearing on this snowmobile, as long as I own it. As long as I keep greasing this every so often, I don't think I'll need to. And yeah, it's ready to go back in and mount back onto the snowmobile. So to put that bearing back in, you just kind of want to start it out with a hammer, just kind of, or if you can push it in, get it started, and then tap it in, and then use a socket. You'll know when it's all the way in. You'll hear it seat down in there, and then clean up this circlip and use your snap ring pliers. And just make sure it's all in there, fully seated. And it is. So I'll put this wheel set back together and get it back in the sled, and go ahead with the fourth wheel assembly. In conjunction with that, I really don't think I'm ever going to have a problem with any of these idler wheels or bearings blowing up halfway through the season. The fourth wheel kit, it's just a precaution. Come to think of it, I probably could have just done this and I would have been fine, but you don't really want to be stuck out there in the middle of the night. If one of these wheels go, you're not going anywhere on these Arctic Cats or the Yamaha Viper, which is actually what I have, but the Arctic Cats are the same thing. So it's just a quick little thing there. It doesn't cost anything to do this, just a bit of time. And yeah, you saw how little grease was in there. Okay, so I got the axle back into place, and I just showing you what is on there at the factory. You just need to remove this bolt here on both sides, and if you need to clamp a set of vice grips onto the axle there to hold it, you can, but you can run those off with an impact gun, and you shouldn't have to use the vice grips, but if you need to, that's a little trick there. So basically, yeah, this kit consisted of these spacer collars, longer bolts, little dust covers, and the 2 extra idler wheels. So it's real simple to install. I'll show you really quick here. It calls for Loctite on these bolts, some blue Loctite. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to show you how it all goes on. It's really simple. Basically, you just, on the back side of the wheel, you put your collar in just like that and slide it up into place and put the bolt in and tighten it up. I'm not gonna do that all the way right now because I need to put blue Loctite on it, but that's all you have to do. Real simple, and that way you're not going to be stuck out on the trail with a blown out axle bearing. So if you repack your bearings like I just did, or keep them changed whenever you want, but I think they're going to last a lot longer with the extra grease in there, and keeping them repacked every season or just checking them. And then with the fourth wheel kit, you're not going to be stuck out on the trail with a blown out wheel bearing. So that's basically it on how to install those. You might want to check your manual for the torque spec on that. Not really sure what it is. I'm just gonna guess and say 20 to 25 foot-pounds with the blue Loctite on there. And yeah, so I did my little bearing trick to that back wheel there I just showed you, and I did all the idler wheels in here all the same way. They all needed some grease, and then the one idler wheel I had to replace. It kind of got chewed up, so I bought a new wheel, and I'll keep this one for a spare. It was just the one wheel, so I don't know if a stone got in there and started to rip that apart or what, or maybe it's the running along the studs in the track there. The back of the studs could have done it. I don't know, but that was 4,000 kilometers. So yeah, there's the Yamaha part number. Now this was for the Yamaha Viper with a 129 track. So I guess there's different kits depending on what length of track you have. So just make sure of that. And yeah, that's it. So real simple to do. Don't be afraid to do this yourself. You won't have any trouble. And if you like this video, leave me a comment. Any questions, just type them there down below. I'll be sure to get back to you. And any other tips or ideas you guys have for these snowmobiles, just feel free to comment and let me know what you think. I'm pretty much done getting this ready for the season. I just have to hit all my grease points in here, and yeah, it's all ready to rock. I got new sliders on. If you haven't seen that video, just click up there. And it's looking good, and I don't think it needs anything else but a whole bunch of gas for the season. So take care, guys, and hopefully it's a good season this year. Thanks for watching.